What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Weekly Roar. I am your host, Jason Tracey, and I'm very excited for these next 2 weeks to take you through the No Sleep Till Brooklyn series. So for the next 2 weeks, we're going to cover some very important topics. This week, we're going to go through goal setting, proper goal setting, powerful goal setting, starting with creating a vision, overcoming and planning to overcome obstacles, to set a game plan, and then execute. Next week, we're going to relate this all home with the same story, a personal story that happened to me in my life that is really a great example of what happens when you set goals the proper way, and then carry that over into the next week. And we're going to tackle how to drum up instant confidence when you need it, using the memories that you have and stuff that's in your personal inventory. So let's get this kicked off. The first most important thing, and I just said this formula here, and if you could read it in the background, the most important thing to do when you're setting a goal is to visualize. Sit down and visualize what it is that you want to achieve. What is the picture, the end goal? For example, if I'm planning a trip to go to Florida, I'm picturing it. I'm picturing where I'm going. I'm picturing my toes in the sand. I'm picturing the fun time. I'm picturing some of the excursions I'm going on. And then I start putting my game plan together. How am I going to get there? I book the flight. I book a hotel room. I think of the different obstacles that can stand in the way. And then I execute through that plan. And on my specified date, I arrive in Florida and enjoy my week of vacation. So very similar, that's how we game plan in life. You've got to visualize, you've got to understand what it is you're chasing before you can commit to any kind of game plan. Oftentimes we will throw down some numbers of what we think that we need to achieve and not really have a good picture of what that is that we're chasing or how to get there. And so we just have these very loose, sloppy goals and don't understand why we keep coming up short. So we're going to tie this together, all like I said, through a story, and it's all related to No Sleep Till Brooklyn. So let me take you through this. It all started, and I'll never forget the day. We were in Indianapolis, and I was with this company for about 6-7 months. I took over as director of sales, and I was in Indianapolis, and it was a big Verizon convention, an award ceremony. So they were awarding the top performers for the year, the top dealer agents. And I was sitting with my mentor and one of my former bosses that owned the company that I used to work for. And my mentor always pushed me. He pushed me to be a leader. And with his organization, I was able to take a store that was the worst store in the company, and we elevated that store up to the highest grossing store in Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky, so within the region. And I was very proud of that, but then I moved on to a new company that was much smaller and had no finances. They were coming through from a place of trouble, and so we didn't have a lot of the resources, but I was very competitive with my mentor, and we were sitting at the table, and sure enough, he won all of these awards. And so to describe these awards, you can see the picture in the background. So these aren't just any awards. You know, I'm not a singer, I'm not a Grammy, I'm not an athlete, I'm not winning these types of awards. So I see this award as a gold record, and wow, you know, you're getting this amongst your peers throughout the whole entire region. They got these awesome awards, and the really salty thing, the real big salt in the wound for me was that one of the awards was for my store that I led. But my mentor, being the guy that he is really competitive, really cocky, and boy, did he love to pour the salt in the wounds. And so he had his collection of awards, and of course he pointed it out to me that he flew in to the convention while I had to drive. So just a big difference in the resources that were available between our two companies, as I was building up a company that had been long struggling and was coming out of a place of debt. And so we didn't have those resources, and we didn't have necessarily even the talent that they had, because they had a lot of time, a big jump start to develop that. So he has these awards, and he flew into Indianapolis, and so he looked at me, and my wife at the time had worked for his company still. That's where we had met, actually, and so she was still working there, and he said, you know what, I can't pack all these awards when I get on the plane. can you take these back with you? And it was a little bit of a, kick in the rib, but at the same time to be efficient. So I, of course, agreed, and I used this as motivation. He didn't understand that day. He created somebody that was going to compete with him. And just by throwing that extra salt in the wounds, it lit my competitive fire. And I wanted nothing more than to win one of these awards. Just to be recognized as a top player in the industry, and to be able to take our company that was so struggling and had such a bad name and lift it up to be, hey, look at us, and we can achieve this as well. So being competitive like I was, he lit my fire, and I took this picture of the award, and I came in and I called up a company meeting, and I put together the vision. I knew that next year when we were in Indianapolis, and they were handing out the awards, that I wanted our organization to be in the running and to win these awards. So I came to our company meeting, and I got my young, fired up, hustling, grinding team so excited and so geared up, and played we're the underdogs and nobody expects us to achieve it. Now, that's all fun and good. You can get somebody hyped up for